Three Corners is just your average small town, standing on the banks of a flood-prone river with a large pub anchoring the village at a once famous three-way intersection. Now it's simply convenient, as people chase the country dream, the country lifestyle, just not the unceasing agricultural workload. Population 2,000-ish. But like all small towns, scratch the surface and you'll be surprised at what you find underneath. In that sense, Three Corners is really no different to any other small town I know, except perhaps for some of the characters you might meet. Reluctantly quiet. She knew that she had a voice. She spoke every day, at work and at the gym. She spoke and laughed. She talked with friends at cafes. She gossiped and cackled, gestures emphasising stories and events. Verbose and outgoing, she had so much to say. But when she went home, her voice disappeared. She would speak and no one would hear. She would start and be talked over. Her opinion didn't matter. Her experiences, nothing compared to others. Her silence valued more than any contribution. And so, she stopped trying. Every now and then, she would experiment, throw a comment into a gathering. Occasionally, say something contrary to the opinion of her family, just to see if there was a reaction. Just to see if anyone heard. No one ever did. She tried to be louder, but it didn't make a difference. She waited for gaps in the conversations to have her say, but again, attentions wandered. Other people were busy. She knew that. Their lives full to the brim and spilling over, so she wasn't surprised when they didn't remember anything that she had said prior. Big events went unnoticed and uncelebrated until discovered, and the first accusation was always, why had she not told them? She wasn't excluded. She was loved. She just wasn't heard. They said her voice was too soft, her words too fast. They couldn't understand what she was saying even when they did hear. It was too hard, they said. So they stopped trying. And she drifted slowly. Still heard at work, still heard at the gym, still heard by her friends, but unheard with her family. Eventually, so reluctant to attempt yet again a conversation where what she had to say would be so quickly dismissed that she stopped. And instead, she listened. And by listening, she discovered so much more. It was of no consequence that they didn't want to share her experiences. They were more interested in sharing what they knew with her. They told her all about their lives and wives. The nieces and nephews confided secrets their parents would be horrified to hear. She was now the recipient of every secret, every whisper in her extended family's repertoire. She knew why a cousin was not included in a late uncle's will, why her grandmother decided to give her favourite painting to the black sheep. She knew whose marriage was on the rocks and if it was going to be saved, who was well behaved, and who made Santa's naughty list every single year. She heard judgments against others, not always entirely justified, as well as herself, which she found equally interesting and infuriating. The power of her invisibility, however, was slowly becoming an asset. So every now and then, she ditched the loud clothes that seemed to be the only way to make people see her and delved into the taupes, ivories and grey and, well, blended right into the background. When Mrs. Preem couldn't pay for all her groceries and got into an argument at the checkout at the IGA, she was able to move past two teeny tiny wide-eyed children watching their mum almost in tears and quietly tap her card. It wasn't much, and it's certainly nothing that warranted the fuss that was being made. She was never picked at the airport for that extra security check. There was no need to impress or meet the expectations of others. It gave her a wonderful sense of freedom, though it was harder to be served at the bar at the pub, and people did tend to step in front of her in line. She took the keys from drinkers and popped them in the courtesy bus pile behind the bar, made faces at children without odd looks from their parents, and kicked the legs out from the chairs swung on by boorish, beerish men. In fact, the best thing about being invisible was what she could get up to at the pub. She started to feel a little like a superhero. She found a wish on the keeper that she could grant and revelled in the fact that no one knew it was her. She nudged the sergeant in the right direction to prevent the arrest of his grandmother again up at the cemetery, and she unearthed the cheat at the CWA's biggest scone event of the year. She wasn't suddenly hurt again, which is what should happen in all good stories. Instead, she lost it more and more. But she didn't rail, rage, or repeat. She grew, adapted, and found a new contentedness, leaving a lot of the worries that came with being visible behind. To her friends, however, she was always loud and present and laughing. That made it easier. Today's episode of Three Corners was produced by our maestro,
Posty,
and featured the spotlight tones of Jack. For more stories, head to talesfromthreecorners.com.au or subscribe to wherever you listen to your favourite podcasts.